everybody, congratulations. You made it to Friday. You made it to SketchUp Live Day. You're here. I'm here. My name's Matt. And Eric is here. He's my co-host. Hey, Eric.
Eric is here. Yes, Eric is behind the camera today. I'm a little bit confused, but this is exciting. This is new for me. So thanks for having me on this side of the screen, Matt. I get to be your co-host today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm happy to have you here. I need an expert. Okay. I need someone who knows what they're doing. So I'm thankful for the chat, for you guys to be here, and also for Eric to help me out, because today the topic that we're doing, what I'm tackling, is exercises, SketchUp exercises. Right? You saw me in the thumbnail, pumping iron of geometry, very heavy geometry. We love the geometry, but yeah. So that's what I'm doing today. The link is in the description, and you can also follow the forum thread in the description as well to see the items that I'll be modeling from these exercise plans. I probably should actually pull that up, give credit where credit is, of course, due. One sec. Here we can pop into the main area here. So grab CAD is where I got these 50 CAD exercise drawings. MD Aminul Islam, probably incorrectly pronouncing that, but that's where you can download all the resource files that I'll be using.
This is someone who just wanted to post these to share for like his own practice exercise files, and he's like, hey, this is a good way for me to kind of practice my CAD. Let's share this with people. That's how kind of you stumbled across it.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked up like 3D exercise plan files, and yeah, I came across this. Yeah, I don't know exactly, like there, you can see there's a logo watermark on the plans, and so CAD knowledge, check it out. That's his there's a website in there, so go there if you're interested for more. But yeah, it seems like he kind of created these, yeah, just for I don't know if it's for his own exercise or for others to use, but I'll definitely be using them today. So thank you
Sweet.
for creating them. Yeah, it's
looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, it's
50. How many do you think you want to do?
50. I'm like, let's keep this intro short so I can just jump in and try to nail out as many as I can. I will get in pretty quick here. Hello to everybody watching. Let us know where you're coming in from for sure. Psyched to have you here. And like I said, please leave comments and help me out along the way if I run into any stumbling blocks, or I will. So when I run into a stumbling block, please let me know in the comments, and Eric will relay that information over to me.
Yeah, can I do some shout outs to some people here? Most of the people are coming in obviously from YouTube. We get most of our viewers, but I know we've got LinkedIn, Facebook. Where else are people coming in from? Wherever you're coming in from, thanks. We've got Madrid, I see in the chat, India, Norfolk, UK. Few people from the UK. I know it's your evening, so thanks for giving us your Friday night. And of course, we've got what I call our usual suspects, all of them. One of them referred to you, Keggy, refers to you as the Maestro. So I don't know where Maestro comes into as far as SketchUp, whether that's below Ninja or above, but we'll find out, maybe have that conversation as things progress.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a Maestro. Maestro Matt, kind of rolls off the tongue. Yeah, we'll see. There needs to be like a hierarchy of, you have your kind of boring names of like beginner, novice, intermediate, expert. But yeah, Ninja definitely on there, Maestro. What other names would you use? SketchUp aficionado? SketchUp
yeah, I mean, pro, expert, I mean, these are all subjective,
pro,
but
yeah,
ultimately if you use SketchUp even once, you are family. So I'm going to say that you're in the group. Yep.
To everybody in the SketchUp family.
You are.
Totally. All right. We're 5 minutes down, and that's 5 minutes less that I'll be able to use to try to model all these. So let's just try to start getting into it. A couple things. So this is the the template, one of the default templates, architectural inches. There's a couple changes I'm going to make to this based on these plans. So these plans don't have units, they just have numbers. But I will be using inches for those. But I'll go to model info to change a couple things. One thing is I'm going to turn off length snapping just to avoid any, inferencing on stuff I don't want to inference on. I'm also going to change the format to decimal. This will just help with dimensions and yeah, I don't know. It'll just look a little cleaner on screen for sure. And was there something else I was going to change? No, I don't think so. I think that's everything I need. I'm going to try to model, I'm going to try to model all 50 of these, and I'm going to also try to model them all as solid groups, which, if you're not familiar with what a SketchUp solid is, it is an item that is kind of has all enclosed sides, and so no holes, no extra geometry. Entity info will tell me that this is a solid group, but for instance, if I had a line over here, this would not be a solid group. So I'm going to try to make, or like, a hole in this would also not be solid. So the idea is to make all these solids just for best modeling practice. That's kind of the goal of this, is exercises to get me better at spatial thinking in 3D, because I am, I guess, an intermediate maestro. But yeah, so that's kind of the general idea of how I'm going to be laying these things out. All right, practice one.
While you're doing that,
Yeah.
Matt, I'm going to let you go ahead and just go for it. I started a poll because we were joking about where Maestro falls in the list, and so I asked some of the people in the chat. This is on YouTube for where we can do polls a little bit easier. What's your SketchUp level? So when people tune into these chats, they are either people who come to learn, awesome, welcome. They're people who, like us, who use it every day and just like to be part of the community, or as people who maybe stumbled upon us by accident. So I'm kind of curious if there's a little poll out there. I'll close it in a couple minutes, and we'll see if you can answer. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, do we have Dave R with us? Dave R already. We might have to go to him with tips. So he would fall into, he is in a category that's sort of higher than expert. I don't know what you call that, but there's whatever that top special tier is. That's called the Dave R level.
That's right. Yeah, that's what it's named.
So if you're with us, Dave, thanks for coming, as always.
Okay, so I'm starting with just like the base footprint of this piece. It has these kind of angles up on the side and then goes up and has this curved thing. This measurement here is 10, right? And then this is a 45-degree angle. So that means that this height is also 10 because that's a right angle. So I'm going to pull that up 10. And then I will be using the protractor tool for angles in this one. So I'm going to use that and go 45. And I guess I can use it on this other side too. 45, and then I can draw these little pieces in, delete these, and pull this back. Okay, this middle chunk is 40 across. I should also say I modeled like a couple of these before for the thumbnail, just like 4 of them, but all the rest of these I'm coming in without any prior knowledge of, so you will see me figuring them out as I go. But okay, cool. So that thing is 40 across, and it's centered on this. So let's see. If that's 10, then this is 60. So 10 up and 80 across, so minus 10, minus 10. This top kind of platform thing is 60, so I'm going to use the tape measure to do guides and just do this 10 across and 10 this way.
Aaron just did a video recently about guides, and some people don't use them, and some people swear by them. You're a guides person.
For this, I am. Normally, I'm not, but I'm happy to use them for this type of modeling for sure. Because in the couple that I did before, I'm like, oh, yeah, these are super helpful. Don't cut the geometry, like don't, end edges and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, just worked out good for me.
Smart. Maybe I'll start using them after this.
Uh, yeah, give them a shot. I don't know if I'm using them correctly, but okay. So this is a radius 10. I'm also going to change my default circle. So I'm going to say, actually, my circles are going to have 48 sides, and my arcs are going to have, default, they have 12. I'm going to say 24 sides. I'm going to do a circle and pull that out here, and radius 10. Just delete this extra and push this back. And so I don't have the radius of the bigger one. Or no, I guess I do, because this is 20 diameter, right? And then this
Yeah, you're going to offset, right? Or you're going to do another arc,
is another 10.
and then from the center point.
Yeah, I could offset. So just straight up from here to here, right? And then
if you don't need it exactly, I mean, if you know what that is already, then you know that offset, and then using inferencing.
Am I done? Am I one one down?
Well, let's not overanalyze it. Let's take one down, move on to the next one. I'm calling that one done. You're gonna group it and make sure it's solid?
Yes, in a sec. Okay, so this is actually not 40. It's like this says it has to be 40 across, right?
So what are we gonna do? Scale the whole thing, or are you gonna?
I think, okay, so here, when I did that offset, can you see this? This little
Yeah.
guy?
Oh, the offset didn't snap.
Yeah, so, because that's not a true circle, I think like the offset, cut it off a little bit. I wonder if I just do a straight up arc half circle from here to here. Should snap to a half circle, right?
It's looking for a bulge.
And then now I can do 10. And bing, bang, boop. That's 40. Officially. Okay, cool. Okay, triple click to select it all, make that a group, and I will be naming these. That's practice 1.
All right, nice job. I imagine that these will just get smoother and smoother as you go, because you'll just get into a groove like Stella.
Yeah,
sorry,
I just get my groove at
joke.
all, not even get it back.
Shows my age when I reference those kinds of movies. So Johnny Five says this from the chat. He says, I remember these exercises from my level 1 CAD class many moons ago. Nice to see that they're still alive and in practice. So,
oh, cool.
I did not do this when I was learning CAD, but this is a great way to just kind of not even just learn from start, but even just brush up. Like I remember I used SketchUp for years before I actually learned how to properly use native tools. I wish I had learned, taken the discipline and the time to learn how to use it properly. But when you're an intern and someone says, build a staircase for a project, you're just like, okay, I don't have time to learn how to do it properly. I'm just going to wing it. So yeah, this is making me wish I could go back and redo my early days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome that you've seen these before. It's cool to see that these are being used for sure for learning. Okay, so this is a radius of 10. I just added this at an arbitrary level, and then I'm going to change the radius in entity info to be exactly 10. And that will give me that exact radius that I need. Okay, cool. So then I'll actually just take this shape here and flip it along with a copy. That's the option modifier on Mac. I think control on Windows. But check me if I'm wrong there, Eric. Okay, so we have that, and then 50, I'm going to use a guide for this. So when I'm looking at this circle here, 50 down, so 50, and then it's to the midpoint of this, and then that diameter is 20. So that means the radius is 10. Delete guides and push this down to get that hole. Alrighty. Let's see. So this little top piece here is 10 deep. So I'll just do this top. And that is 20 high based on 40 minus 20. And then 20 more to the end of that. And let's see. 20 is the interior of also this
Yeah,
thing.
it's not yeah, okay. So you can't use like a divide command because it's not equal. You don't know. It's a lot of math here. I'm having trouble keeping up.
Yeah. So I think based on this measurement, this little kind of notch in here is 20, meaning that because the whole thing is 40, this is 10 and this is 10. So let's see, I can just use.
You know what? I can't even see those numbers. If you just made them up, I would just believe you. I'd be like, yeah, okay, that looks right.
Oh, are they
But
too small?
I appreciate that you're not doing that because I would be tempted. Just be like, yeah, let's just put it here. And you're actually
Close
doing it
enough, as long as it
accurately.
looks somewhat
Yeah.
like the
And as long as there's a little bar
drawing.
thingy here, and then there's a little archy thingy here, and yeah, this will work. Let's move on to the next one.
20. And then here, here. Could I just straight up move this along like that? No.
Yeah, that's.
No,
Oh
it's
yeah, I
going to
was gonna say
autofill that.
no.
I can just do this and do a little cleanup here. So to make a solid, there has to be no internal faces too. So that's why I'm cleaning those little guys up. And then I think everything else, I'll
Yeah,
just.
it's almost like sometimes I have a keyboard shortcut for X-ray mode, which just sometimes helps me really quickly look because you never know when there's something in there that you forgot that was in there because you offset or because you copied a line somewhere. But using guides, I think maybe is a good way to avoid those extra sort of divide lines or temp lines that I might draw.
Mm-hmm. Practice 2 in the bag.
And now these aren't real shapes; they're just practice shapes. I was going to say they look like machine parts, but then at the same time, it's like, what
Yeah, they're
machine
sort of
part
like
is this? It's like,
simplified machine parts, so they're not really like
yeah,
Aaron will do like 4 in a stream, and they're all like the drawings are just like have a million things on them. I'm like, I'm
mm-hmm.
gonna start off smaller than that. I'm
Boom.
gonna do some
Keggy's
easy
giving
ones.
shout out from Keggy, 2 for 2. Set him up, knock him down. Look at this guy go. He's on a roll, like I said. I want to put a stopwatch timer, but at the same time, I don't want to pressure you, Matt, because I feel like you could go 2 ways with this. We could like hurry and see how many we can get in and then be really stressed, or you could just kind of like Bob Ross it, and just kind of happy little machine parts and just go at your pace.
Mm-hmm.
Either way. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. So now this is CAD. So I imagine that it's a little bit different though, because if you actually draw it in CAD, then you're probably going to be drawing it in 2D. So like when you see 4 drawings, that's 4 drawings, unless of course you're just mirroring a drawing, which is just looking at it from 2 sides. But
Yeah.
like for that axo or something, that's really interesting because if you're drawing an orthographic in CAD, you're essentially drawing a 3D representation of a 2D in 2D. But in SketchUp, we're actually using push-pull. We're not just drawing edges. And you can pick whatever camera angle you want to get these, to get the elevation, get the axonometric and stuff. So
Yeah, so I could use the same piece to create the different pictures of this for sure. Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to like very subtly say like do it in 3D. Like don't do it in 2D, do it in 3D. I mean, look how fast it is. Is that another one done? That was a quick one.
Yeah, that was an easy
See, look at
one.
that. See, you didn't even talk through that one. You did that one completely on your own while I was just bantering.
Okay, so this one is a little bit more complex. Let's see. So it's 60 by 40, right? Taking this 60 here and this 40 because this is the top view. And then that bottom bit is 10. And then, okay, so 20 to the midpoint of this circle. I'm like, okay, so is this half? Is this 20 up and another 20? It doesn't really say, right?
It looks midpoint though. I mean, if it doesn't specify as, because the only reason to put 2 dimensions on it would be if it's not centered. If you show it centered, it's assumed that it's snapped at the midpoint.
Okay,
That's,
cool.
see
Yeah,
that?
that's a
There you
question I
go.
had about just kind of plans in general. It's like a lot of times you have to infer where, certain pieces are on the, or, you take a couple different dimensions and then kind of add them together or subtract them in order to figure out a certain one. Yeah, in this case, it seems like there's not enough information, but it makes sense that if it was inferred to be centered, then yeah, that's good. Okay, so
Peter, as you're doing that, keep going. Peter was correcting me because I use the word CAD, but my CAD reference is AutoCAD, which is where I learned, to draft in 2D and do these plans. And then SketchUp was sort of, you would take your CAD to SketchUp and you would sort of do it separately. But now I pretty much do everything in 3D, and then I go backwards, and then I get my plans from 3D when you need them, if you need them, sections, whatever, axo, elevation. And but Peter makes a good point. He says, well, CAD is, it's not just AutoCAD. There's SolidWorks, Solid Edge, Unigraphics. There's like, so some of those actually, when you say CAD program, may actually be 3D. So, but unlike SketchUp, be more specific to whether that's industrial design or that's engineering sort of type drawings. So lots of options out there.
yeah, 100%. Okay, so I have a couple things here. This circle is, oh, that's diameter 20. So I messed that up. So that's actually, oh no, that's right. 20 in is this bigger circle. So I'll just straight up do a circle. Yeah, sure, I'll clean it up later. Okay, so I mean, if I go to here,
oh yeah, okay,
I
you're
could
doing
just
that
get rid
top
of
one
these.
first, huh?
Would you not have done that?
No, I was looking at the inside one first because you can see it touches the bottom. You can see that it snaps to that lower ledge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you would have just done it like this. And then you could do one to here too. Right? And then this to here. Delete this, push this down. Wait, where am I going here? Why is that not going all the way through? Okay.
Sometimes those punch throughs, they don't
Oh,
always,
because
they
it
mostly
maybe
they,
was aligned with that or something. This, right? That's pretty much there. And then that arc is radius 10. So I'll just do that same thing I did before. Make sure that it's tangent with that magenta tangent line. Complete the arc, and then select it in entity info. I can say that's 10. And click out of there. And then push that across. Delete guide.
Wait, how did you get the radius? I don't want to slow you down, but how are you getting the exact radius that you want? And what units are you working in again?
So
you mentioned at the beginning, I was typing in the chat.
Yeah, no, all good. I'm in decimal inches.
Okay.
Just, I don't know, it seemed like a right.
So 20, you type in
size.
20, that's 20 inches. You just type in 20.
Yeah, although for that one, so what I used was from this edge to the middle of this circle, I did 20 because this is 40 diameter.
Okay. Yeah, that's the radius, sort of. I mean, to the center
radius is 20
point. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, because I was looking at it
here
compared to Teddy, and I was like, okay, that's quite big. But then again, that could be 20 inches, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so this height, inference that. Oh, it's not working.
There it is. Yeah.
Wait, no, that's the wrong point. Point.
Listen, hey, don't let me slow you down. You just tell me to be quiet and be like, listen, I'll talk to you about that after the stream if you want to just keep going.
No,
I
all
just,
good, all good.
I'm asking, I mean, these are not a question from the users, but I know if someone just tuned in, they might be like, these are big things you're drawing. What are these things?
Yeah, it does make more sense if that they were like machine parts, they would be smaller. But I think because these are just exercise files, I'm like, I'm fine with them being, you know, I don't know what this would be like a, looks like they would be a art piece or something, or part of a playground maybe for kids to jump
No, I
on.
think I'm going with Keggy on the chat. He says that actually these are real size. They're like little machine parts, and Teddy's just very, very tiny. She's just we shrunk her, and
Honey, I shrunk the teddy,
so we'll go with that.
like the kids. Uh, okay, this piece has a lot of stuff going on. It's 50 by 60, right? So I'll actually do 60, 50. Looking at it this way and this way. Kind of looks like a piano from overhead. A grand. Okay.
Anybody else wanting to play Tetris right now? Like I'm thinking these pieces all need to interlock with each other, and you're gonna at the end you're gonna be like, I built a massive robot or something. Like when you put them all together.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Sorry, let's not. We'll save that for the follow-up stream. What can you do with these pieces?
Okay, so I'm like, there's so many places to start. I'm gonna kind of carve that bottom part out, I guess. So 20 is to this kind of edge here. And then that goes in 30, right? 60 and then 30 to that main part. No, that's
30 is half of 60. Yeah, last time I checked.
Okay, so what angle? Oh, I'm looking at this from the opposite side. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, so that is actually 30. And then so this rectangle is that. And then this is 3 times radius 10. So 10. And then does that infer that this one is also 10? Does this 3 times mean this, this, and this?
It's
Probably.
got to be because we wouldn't use a 3x as a measurement unless it's referring to what it could be saying is you would usually say in like a construction document typical. So like if you're pointing to one thing, you're saying, look, so I'm pointing to this one. I'm not going to point every single one of them out. You can see it's the same thing. So give a measurement. I'll say that's a 12 radius typical for it. So anytime you see that, that's what you know that that's a 12 foot or whatever, 12 inch. So I would imagine 3x stands for 3 times the same dimension.
Okay, cool. Me too.
Yeah, like I'm trying to make this easier on you here, Matt. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
No, they're all individual, and the only way to find out is to import the image, scale the reference, use your tape measure tool. Let's not do that.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. That's a good plan. Okay, so this is, I'm looking at this measurement here, 10 and 10 up. Is that not going in blue? Lock that 10 and then 30 across. 30.
Oh, look how fast you are with those guides.
I don't know, I'm half an hour in and I've got 4.5 done, so I don't
That's
know
all
how
right.
fast I am, but I'll try to.
Right. Well, we'll just keep going, like you said. We'll bleed a little bit if we need to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a good, a good practice just to say how many.
Well, we also need to
do.
leave people hanging with like a hook, right? Like Matt's going to model 50, random shapes. You'll never guess what 47 looks like. We want to make sure you guys get 47 might be the one. So definitely stay tuned.
Okay, so this is 20 high, so I'm going to push this back down 20. And then this is the midpoint here is 10. And that just comes like, I guess I'll do this way 10, and then I can say from here to here.
Yeah, this one's got a lot of funky little bends, doesn't it?
Oh. One thing about using guides is sometimes I think this is a line. And so I'm like, why is
yeah,
his
and then you're
face
like,
not closing? And I'm like, well, there's no line there.
I guess if you do you have a shortcut for toggle guides on and off?
Um, do I? I don't think I do. Like delete
Okay.
guides.
Yeah, or hide guides, because you can make them visible or hide them.
Right.
Or
No, I don't currently have that set up, but it probably would be a smart thing to do. I'm actually going to change this soften.
all right, we
smooth.
are 31 minutes in and you got your first reminder to save your work.
Ah, good point. Still untitled. Thank you, whoever you are. I will do
Thank
that
you
right
all.
after I
Yes,
say.
that's right. We got another one. Same thing. Good shout out.
Why is this not? Oh well, here's why.
Uh-oh.
Ah, save. Thank you. Let's see. We're just gonna go, and these are 50 practice exercises. Should probably not commit to 50 right now because I'm probably not gonna get 50 done, but we'll see. Okay, so that's 5.
Hey man, you gotta go in with more confidence than that. Like in track and field, my coach says the winner always does one more than the coach asks. So we're going to 51. Let's go. Let's do this.
51 it is.
51 it is. The last one you get to make up. You get to totally do it on your own. It is there was a comment on the chat where it's like someone said, oh, when they do these in class, they get 3 minutes per to do the whole thing start to finish, and it's like, okay, that sounds about the right amount of time. And then but then somebody else commented, well, it is harder when you are live and you are talking through each of your steps, because sometimes that can slow things down.
Yeah. Okay, so 10 across from here. And that looks like it goes to the center, right? So what I'm going to do is just straight up draw a line. 10. Get that endpoint and bring it to here. And then looks like because this is 10, I can also just straight up move a copy 10, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Don't draw that over. Just make a copy. Oh, this will be fun.
This little bit. Okay, so from the side, that's 60 all the way. So let's see. Could I just go like this? 60. And then just move this point across.
Yeah, and it looks like that creates a symmetrical trapezoid or whatever you call that.
Yeah. So this is 40. Not 40. This one's 30. And this one's 10.
Oh, now I wonder if, and you don't have to do this, but if you weld those edges before you pull them up from a flat surface, I wonder if oh no, you don't really want to weld. I was going to say what you're getting is those line breaks. Maybe you have to because you want it solid, so then you have to go in and clean those up.
Yeah.
Other options, you can just take the whole thing, make it a group, and can you use the soften edges? Does that do that the same way that the eraser tool does? If you want to make that
yeah.
solid?
Yeah, I think so.
That could be a way where you
Or
just
wait,
group
would
the
this
whole
be a
thing.
solid if I grouped it now?
Oh, but remember, if you undo, you did the you had your missing floor. You had your
Oh,
bottom.
yeah, good.
Yeah, so that's why it won't be.
But now it would be because even though
It
these
is. Okay,
edges
so
are
even though you have
showing,
those, okay, so those are straight edges, but they're not interior, so they don't affect. All right. Yeah, see, Dave pointed out, check the bottom. So those are things where we need to, if you don't see that it's solid, that might be why. I've seen that happen to myself quite a few times where, what's wrong with this? And then you're like, oh, that's right. You know, d- pulled
yeah,
something up
didn't
and
do
then
the
it
bottom.
removes the bottom. Yeah,
Although,
exactly.
what's this?
Yeah, somebody said that some of these might not be solid. I would say don't go back unless you really want to and spend time on those. What we might do is at the end, go back and if we have time and just double check.
Yeah, good point. I should have double
There's
checked that
probably going to
earlier.
be there's probably going to be one or two that aren't solid, and I would say
We're going
don't worry
sloppy
about it.
on it.
Don't worry about it. This is the way I roll. I roll pretty fast and loose, and it's like it depends on the project, obviously. The level of the LOA. What's the level of accuracy for this project? Because that's going to determine my fee spread, my fee structure.
For sure. This looks like a tape dispenser from the side.
Nice.
Okay, so let's see. This little bit is 20. So because this is 40, this is a 10 by 20 little bit, this little front bit here. So 20 comma 10. It goes up 10, right? Yeah. Up 10, and this half, or actually maybe I'll just actually go up another 10. And then because this is radius 10, I can go from this midpoint to this midpoint. And once it's on face, which is that blue diamond, I can get there. Come on, boy. Doesn't want to stay on the face. Let's see.
There was a question about which version of SketchUp you're using. Should be 2024, but you don't have the ambient occlusion on for this, so I'm guessing you need that just as a choice, but maybe we can do that at the end if you don't want to model with that on, if it helps you, just so we can show just how that reinforces some of these cool corners and curves and stuff stylistically.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this is 10, 60 by 10, 10, 60. And okay, diameter 20, diameter 40. It's kind of the same as that last piece or the piece we did, this one. So let's see. That thing is also 10 up. So we'll go 10. And then I suppose I'll do the same thing I did the other time where I'll do a guide. Because this is 40, I'll do 20 in, 20. And then there'll have to be some cleanup, but here, and then also because this is diameter 20, 10 radius, and then clean.
Dave mentioned if you don't want to delete those edges of the circle, on one of the earlier ones you were doing, that you could just use the arc just by itself. So would that be the 2-point arc or the 3-point arc?
I don't know. Let's try it.
Let's try it. Listen, I might be a little bit slower, but this is about learning and building our muscles and getting that good foundation. So if you know your dimensions, you know where things are supposed to snap to.
I guess I could just use the regular arc tool, right? Not the 2-point arc. Because because I know the center and I know the radius, and then I can just do this.
Yeah, maybe that's what Dave is referring to. When you say arc, it's hard because we have multiple arc tools, and so it may be referring to the basic arc tool. So you tell me if that works better. I do like it. I agree with Dave. I mean, I also do what you do, Matt. So I sometimes will draw something just because I think it's quicker, and then I find myself erasing geometry afterwards. But hey, if there's a way to do it spot on the first time, let's do it.
Yeah, agreed. And then now I can't use a circle for this because or actually, I guess I would want to push this
Yeah, I'm
across
seeing some users
first.
commenting now. Use the regular arc tool. See, that's the thing. I think we just have to specify use the basic or the
Yeah,
regular
2-point
arc
arc
tool.
kind of gets interchangeably used with arc tool, but it's not. It's not. It's a 2-point arc. Okay, I'm trying to inference the middle of this arc so that I can draw the circle that goes to the back.
Beautiful.
And then make sure we don't have any empty bottoms or anything.
All right.
And that should be.
No soggy bottoms. Everything looks good.
That's right. Oh, I forgot to name that one. That's 6. Here, let me.
Come on, Matt. You need to be able to do 10 things at once at all times.
I always name everything, every group,
I
every component. No, not really.
use the outliner because if you're that fastidious about naming things, then the outliner would be a lot more useful than it is when I have things when it's like group 1, group 2, group 1A, group 1AB.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I don't use that liner really, but I could see how it would be helpful to name groups because components, prompt you to name them. So more people, I'm sure, name their components than.
All right, I'm going to poll the audience. I like polls. Sorry, everyone, if you don't, because I don't get to coast very often, and I like to engage with my group. And I want to know, about some naming conventions. So let me think of some questions real quick. Give me a second.
Okay, so I used this guy. This looks like basketball. I go hard in the paint. So I just inference that midpoint, and I'll do the same kind of thing here. So I'll do the circle, inference the midpoint, and then intersector that guide, and then do a 10 radius circle to get that circle in the right spot for this kind of bottom chunk here, which goes up 10. And then this is 20. So 20, 40. And okay. 10. So same kind of thing as actually that first shape with the circle here. Let's see. I'm sure there's an easy way to do this. Okay, so 10, 40. So this goes up 30. And then let's see what I'm looking at. That circle is centered in there with a diameter of 20. Right, like this. And then
Yeah, that's centered.
that's not right.
No.
Because it hits
Is
the
it the same
bottom.
size hole as the one below? Could you just take that hole and rotate it?
I don't know. Let's see.
Don't listen to me. Don't let me mess your flow up.
Okay, so I'm like, would you rotate it like this?
No, you have to rotate. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that doesn't hit. No, it's not in the same place. So never mind. It's
And
probably
then you
easier
could
just to redraw it. Yeah.
move it down.
No, because it's going to stick to that top edge. So
Oh,
that doesn't.
okay.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Sorry.
That's okay.
Hmm.
Well, because we know that's a diameter of 20, I could do a guide up 10, inference the midpoint here, and then this. And then that goes all the way through, right? But then there's also this piece that goes 10 back. And then we have an arc here. think that's it.
Call it.
Just get these little softened up bits.
All right, I'm gonna end my poll asking, how often do you name your groups and components? The answers could be never. Hope that's not you. Only that's 8%. That's couple of people and replied.
Good for you. Just live life on the wild side.
And then the other option would be only when necessary, which would be 25% of our people. So that's what was that, 3 out of 12? Most of the time, which is 41%, so almost half of our users, almost 6 people. So 5 people said most of the time they will name their groups and components. And then
good for you.
25%, so another 3 people said every single darn time. No excuses, no exceptions.
Man, you guys are
so some of you are hardcore. There's 3 hardcore modelers out there, and good for you. Congratulations. I love it.
Okay, so here's my thought. This is 20 on this side and
it's
40.
Symmetrical, right? So just model half of it and then use the mirror tool.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So this is 10 because 60, 40. And then because this is 20, this this would be 20, right? I think that's right.
Were you asking me or talking to yourself? Because I would just say yes.
You, chat, whoever wants to answer.
Sounds good.
Okay, and then I can't auto fold this because everything's sticking together.
Yeah, you got to pull it out. Yeah, you're gonna have to just move.
You could just draw it up 30.
Yeah, or you can just copy that line itself, depending on what's easier. Sometimes I'll just move the move tool, and just copy that up. And then if you just draw one side, then you just you can't pull it because you're at an angle. So you'd have to. The opposite is. I mean, this is so simple that it doesn't really take long to just draw this manually. You're just drawing a couple lines.
Right. I'll delete that so I can maintain my solid here.
There you go. Bam.
This, and then what I want
and cut the whole thing in half and mirror it.
These pieces, right? I could just straight up mirror this along here, right?
Yeah, as long as you're on that center line.
Well, I think that's it.
What number is this? I lost track.
9. We're almost at double digits.
9. All right. We need to do something cool. I wish I had like like sometimes when you're in a Google Meets or something like that, and you can like celebrate what someone says, and then like confetti pops up every time you hit a 10 into the tens group. I want to.
Yeah,
All right, folks at home, use your imagination. When I say confetti, that's going to be like streamers and confetti coming down and noisemakers when we hit our milestones here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many milestones we're going to get because already nearly 50 minutes, 5-0 in, and only have 9. So we'll see. Okay.
No pressure.
This is 30 by 40. I'm just doing kind of this little chunk here. And then, let's see. Protractor, because I'm looking at, this is 30, right? This is 45, like this. And then this is 10 from here. I'm looking at these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this goes like here.
Is that top one? That's the plan view. Is that always the plan view in these? I haven't really. Okay, because that would make it easy to start.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I should pay more attention to that.
No, it's okay. Some of these are hard to tell. You have to look at it and be like, okay, I think that's plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then is that 10 cross? Well, we know this is from this number, right? We know this is 20. And then so that comes out to here and then makes that. This is all deleted. And then 10 high. So we have the bottom piece, and then we just need this, which is 30 by 20. Or rather, 20 by 30, depending on your cardinal directions. And then that's 20 high, this number. 20. And then
you get like, that's a little chamfered edge, huh? So it comes down.
so I'm looking at this.
Yeah.
10 down, kind of the same as I did last time. 10, and then 45-degree angle. I don't have a protractor shortcut, but so be it. Deal with it. Nope.
That's fine. It's good when we're first learning. I think ultimately we say this to more intermediate advanced users, like use your shortcuts. But when you're first learning, it's really important to have that large tool set up because when you hover over an icon, it gives you what the shortcut is. So you can kind of just, even though you need the tool in the beginning as you learn what it is, you can start sort of almost mentally mapping the keyboard, the default ones anyway, in your head. I mean, they're pretty simple, like
Yeah.
L for line, right? Should be intuitive.
P for pencil. Oh wait, push pull. That one always
All right.
makes me up when I first started. I was like, it looks just like a pencil, but then no, that's line. P push pull gets P. That we can definitely agree on.
Got a lot of fireworks and clapping hands and stuff. Did you just hit 10? Yeah, you got a lot of cool
10,
balloons. Yeah, you got balloons, streamers, fireworks, party poppers, and clapping hands emojis. So thanks everyone for stepping up because I don't have the cool sound effects and video filters that we need. All right, let's keep going.
Yes. Okay, so
Celebration's over.
this is
That's fast.
20 across. I'm just doing this back little box because that's what makes sense to me, which is 50 by 20. And then it is 40 high. And then, let's see, from the side, that's right? 20, yeah. Okay. 30. It's like two pieces coming together. I'm like freaking out. I don't need to freak out. You just move this up 10. A copy of it, I mean. And then push that out 20, right? Yeah, because this is 40 total. 20.
Yeah, don't let me distract you. I'll talk to the chat, but I do this thing where I psychologically try and hype myself up and say the harder it is, the better, the more fun it is. Like when I get one that's like, ooh, this is a complex. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Instead of getting like nervous or anxious, oh, this looks hard. I try and tell myself like, okay, good. I don't know how to do this. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be fun. And over time, it sort of tricks the brain into thinking that like the harder it is, the better it is. And yeah, so I enjoy these ones where it's like, ooh, this is gonna be messy. This is gonna be fun.
I think all these little bits, I'm looking at this kind of area right here. I think these are all 10.
Well, it would make it easy if it was all modular, wouldn't it? Because then you wouldn't have to look at each measurement every single time. You just be like, oh, I know that these all have to be this module, and you just draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this should be 30.
Then that would make it too easy, though. Each number has to be different, just to make sure you're on your toes, make sure you're paying attention. That's going to come out, isn't it? But then it also has to go down. Watch, because it creates a C shape on that side. It's almost like one of those. It's not an optical illusion, but it looks very different from depending on the angle you look at it.
I think it goes both these ways 10.
No, you gotta break that one though. Look, it creates a C, almost a C, and you've only got there you go. Beautiful.
Is there any internal stuff going on here? Yes. Okay. So that
Is
should
that
be,
it on that one?
I think that's it, right?
All right. Well, let's not make it harder than it needs to be. Great. Bam. Like Emerald. Emerald, remember him?
Oh, Emeril Lagasse, dude. I
Yeah,
had a cookbook
bam.
signed by Emeril Lagasse. Yeah, bam. Kick it up a notch.
Yeah, I know. Now you're cooking with gas. I listened to a podcast about that expression from the gas industry. Cooking with gas now.
Oh,
Those
because
are
it was
funny.
like,
Yeah, because nobody they were actually electric stoves were more popular and gas wasn't really used in the home. And so they were trying to get people to burn more gas. And so they're like let's sell them gas ovens. And that was one of those things where there was a big marketing campaign. That's where that phrase comes from. Now you're cooking with gas.
it is kind of funny how many things you just think are like, you know, just idioms that got picked up naturally, but then it's like, oh no, that was an ad campaign.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was strategic. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, so many things like when you go back and think, why did that phrase, like especially with words too, I love when you find like, what's the origin of this word? Why do we use it?
Yeah, yeah,
And
100%.
some of them just make no sense at all. We still use them, but like bats in the belfries, like there's so many fun expressions that like we don't even have belfries anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't really design them. It's not part of our language.
Yeah,
Our
whatever happened to
vernacular.
Belfries, man? This country used to be great.
I know. I know. It's going downhill.
Bring back the Belfries.
Oh, there's probably that group out there if you really want to join them. You know, there's a group for there's your people are out there, Matt. Your
Everything's got a
belfries.
subreddit.
Yeah, exactly. They're there. You just need to find them.
Okay, so this
I
is,
spend all my time with these people, these SketchUp people. I find that they tend. This is a pretty big group. It's a pretty active group. It's a pretty loyal group. Pretty creative group. I find that a lot of my needs get met right here. I do go sketching because like SketchUp, you know, is obviously digital, and do like to go hand drawing occasionally, and that is something that I think it sort of relates to SketchUp, right? It's not so different, and it has the word sketch in the title, so I mean, I feel like that's still part of the same community, the same people. If you use 3D modeling and architecture and stuff, you know, you might be a hand drawer too. That's cool.
yeah, oh, for sure. I'm gonna try to use autofold for this. So I think, or do I have to also
No,
move it here? How can I move this up?
no, because it
Um,
sticks. Yeah, you have to break it, but it's still gonna stick
hmm,
because you're going
because the
vertical and there's nothing.
vertexes.
Yeah, there's nothing that separates that face actually because unless you group it and then explode the group and then it would be. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll make it if you like. Don't do a double click.
On this shape,
Yeah, exactly. Group it and then go into it and pull it up. But then again, that's probably more. I mean, if you're adding that extra step,
and then
or not,
move.
or not necessarily pull up with push pull, but you know, you can pull that edge up now, like pull that line up. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. See, yeah, if you grab that one and pull that up using the move tool, it's there, even though you can't see it. Yeah. See now because what you did is you separated it, but then this such a simple shape. You could literally draw it, redraw it in that same amount of time.
but I could do this, right, to use autofold, and then move this down.
Yeah, you go the opposite way because you don't have that. You're not stuck to that face anymore. I like it. I like that there's more than one way to do it. I think this is, oh, I want to ask you, maybe I will. I'm going to wait one more minute because I have a question for you
Okay,
and I want to get to halfway and tell me if I'm messing up your flow or if you want me to wait until you've in between.
okay, yeah. 1 minute
Yeah.
is good.
Okay. Well,
Let's see if I
let's,
can. Okay, yeah,
I don't want to slow you down, but
go for it.
this is your practice. You're talking about, you know, growing your skill set and working on your fundamentals and really kind of getting really good with the basics. So what of these exercises so far, these ones you've done, or do you find that how does this help your workflow? Like what are you gaining from these practices?
Um, well, definitely looking at a thing and then thinking about how it would actually exist in 3D, right? Because looking at the plan, when you have some 2D views of it, and I guess you have like the shape, but in order to make it, you have to actually conceptualize what it looks like and how you would get there, you know? Like for instance, this shape, I was like, what am I gonna do with this like half circle thing? And it's like half of it's there and half of it's gone, and there's this U shape. when I made this, I kind of just did this part first and then push that across. So I don't know,
Hmm.
helping to think in like negative, like subtractive ways. My normal way, I feel like, of doing it, and I'm sure you can tell from how I'm taking on the plans, is kind of draw it from the bottom up, and just
Hmm.
kind of add things to it. Excuse me. So I don't really think subtractively that often, I feel like, and it's obviously some shapes benefit from thinking that way. So um, these have been
So
helpful
it
for
becomes like your almost like your
staying.
spatial, your visual spatial awareness and abilities like to translate it.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I'm guessing too just um some of these native tools like we were talking about arcs where it's like going and using practicing three different arcs and understanding when one sort of works better than another.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one, Kegi says you could auto fold since we were talking and the chat's a little bit behind us. Gave him time to comment that there might be some auto fold abilities in this one because of this kind of, I want to say, spaceship hull-esque shape.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is 40. So that means this is 20. So let's see. That's 40 down this way, right? In order to do this one. And then that's like the top down. Push this up 20. And then so if I just straight up make this rectangle and then connect it, could I push it up like that? Or like auto fold it up, I mean?
Try it. I don't want to give you the answer. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know. Somebody asked what is autofold, and it's we're going to see it here. It's basically like when you move instead of using push pull, when you move a face, it's connected, right? Because if it's not grouped separately, it's connected to other edges and faces, and so you can use that to basically almost like distort the geometry, and that's why it's almost like folding like origami, and that's why I think we call it autofold because it just happens.
Yeah, some people start using SketchUp and they're like, why is everything sticking together? But I think it's really helpful. I mean, let's try it out in this.
Yeah. So if you just move, if you literally just pull that up, and then you usually for me, I would use the keyboard shortcuts. Make sure to lock it to the blue axis so you're only folding in that direction, and you should be able to just pull that up with the move tool. There you go. And then enter in, be specific and accurate by entering in how high you want to go.
Yeah, I think that
Sweet.
should be the deal. 40 high, right? Yeah.
Damn.
Can you also use the push pull stretch mode for this? Oh,
Oh, that's the modifier. Yeah, isn't that one of the newer ones?
yeah, it's
I should
relatively
know.
new.
I should
Uh,
know this.
does the same basic thing as, so I think, let's see if I could use the push pull, oh, not, stretch mode on this. No, I guess it only works for certain. I'm trying to think of what kind of faces it would work for. Not that. This one worked. So this one, I guess, would work for it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
Yeah, so it's the same thing, but you get
kind of
kind
like
of two ways.
moving, but only, like you said, you'd have to lock the blue direction if you're using move for autofold. Uh, but if you're using push pull, it only works in a
Be
perpendicular direction, right?
Yeah, because it's orienting to that face, so that face is sitting flat on the surface.
So then you don't have to lock because it only works in that one direction. So
Cool. Yeah, I like we spend a little longer on this one, just a teaching moment. I also have to admit that like just because I use SketchUp a lot for a long period of time doesn't mean that like doesn't mean you remember or always use some of these uh modifiers. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, my workflow, I'm pretty efficient, but it doesn't mean that I'm doing it properly. There might be other ways to do it.
yeah,
So you got a question about the modifier. So speaking of which, for those that don't know, a modifier, most option is control. Is it option on the Mac? Which one are you using? It's control on the Mac, right?
so
Or
shift
is it the
option and shift and option.
Shift
Or
and
it'll say in
Option.
I always look in the bottom here. It'll say all your modifiers that you can possibly use based on whatever
Hmm.
tool you're on. So, for instance, the stretch mode one that I was just on, um, and actually this in move there is one too. You can see command is toggle auto fold. So if I hit command here, it will, what is it? Only stays in like the plane or something. Like it's not auto folding the geometry, even though it looks like it is.
Yeah, so instead of like trying to call out all of those, we'll just kind of reinforce that you've got this little dialog box in the bottom left, and that tells you what your options are. So if you're a noob or a newbie into SketchUp, then, or even if you're not, even if you're like me and you forget what some of these modifiers do, go back and check that and be sure to try those out. And this is a great excuse, this kind of practice thing that you're doing where you're just creating sort of kind of low stakes models, but with enough complexity where you get to use different tools. It's a good chance to reinforce some of those basics.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say one of the main modifier keys I use is with the move tool, and that's option on Mac. I think it's control on Windows.
Oh yeah, and
Makes a
shout out
copy.
to Adam. That's a move. That's a single copy. But and not to get digress too much on the modifiers, but if you hold them, if you click it twice before you select it, you get the stamp, which I love because when you're in landscape, you're not always doing these really linear arrays. You're putting things a little bit more organically. So just to be able to like that. Yeah, that one's a sweet one, and that's a relatively new one too. That one I know early on there was an extension that did stamp, and which was cool, and then that was awesome that became native as well. All
Okay,
right, this one.
so I think I could use autofold for this one too. So this looks like there's a line, I'm looking at the top view, going from this midpoint to this, and then from this midpoint to here. And then I think this just goes up. Is this going to work? Right? It goes up 20. And then this actually goes up 20 as well.
Yeah, it's got kind of a zigzag thing going on, but no, aren't those are? Oh, okay. So those are equal. Those are the same height, right? Because if you look at an elevation, when the two comes up, but it looks like it's a tilted plane, so it's tilting on both sides,
Yeah.
almost like a reverse of itself as it tilts up. That one's kind of confusing.
Oh, not this. Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm just gonna say it's right. Bam. Sorry, should I stop doing the bam? Am I over it? I just see now I did it once and now I feel like I have to do it every single time.
Yeah, you need like a different chef
Different catchphrase.
reference. Like who's the most popular? Like I feel like Salt Bay was the last like chef who had like viral fame. Obviously, you have
Uh,
your Gordon Ramsays or whatever.
well, I can't repeat most of what Gordon Ramsay says, or we'll get blocked.
Yeah.
Um, also, he's not very kind, and I only have nice things to say about you, Matt.
Oh.
It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same experience.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Maybe Guy Fieri you can try.
Yeah, but really, it's like I don't even know what he says. To be honest with you, it's just the hair. That's all I see.
Flavor Town.
Yeah, just Giada. She doesn't have a catchphrase either. I don't know how we. Sorry, everyone. We dabbled into like HGTV and the Food Network channel, but hey, that's what happens sometimes when you're just in your flow. Alton Brown. I don't know what Alton Brown says, to be honest with you. Bobby Flay. I mean, I know these guys. I've watched these shows. I seriously don't know that like any of them have like something that they say over and over again, like a Simon Cowell kind of like.
You faggot.
No, not. That's where my brain was going. I wasn't gonna go. Wasn't gonna say that, but
Yeah.
yeah. We don't need a catchphrase
Everybody.
here in
Yeah.
SketchUp.
SketchUp
We
Live, our catchphrase is save.
Yeah,
Save.
that's right. Say I could do that after each one you do, because otherwise you lose about 3 minutes worth of work.
Okay, so I think all these little steps are just 10, right? 10, 10, 10, 10, 220.
That's an old one. I don't think our younger audience would pick up on that one.
Oh
That's
man,
for
I was
collect
just thinking about
calling,
this.
folks. Before mobile phones, if you wanted to call long distance, you would buy credits or whatever, and you would be able to dial this number first before you dial long distance. That's how that used to work. When area codes used to be a thing, like when you couldn't dial outside of your area code, or you'd get charged for it.
Oh yeah,
It's so funny, like
the olden days.
being a millennial and everything, and still being able to tell these stories of like what it was like with that most people younger than me don't, because they don't. They're like, I don't know what that is. Calling cards.
Oh, I know. I was just thinking, speaking of commercials, I was just thinking of this commercial the other day. Do you remember this Sears commercial? Another scorcher. It's like,
No, I don't think so. That's it.
uh,
Oh man.
it's something about the weather, and they're like, oh, it's hot today. It's gonna, or I can't remember what it is. Anyways, the last line is another scorcher. It's like an air conditioning commercial.
No, that makes
For
sense. I
Sears.
was thinking when you say
Oh, come on now.
Sears, I was thinking furniture, and I was like, does that make me want to buy a couch? Not really.
Maybe like
Not
an air
really.
cooled couch or something. Okay, from the side, it's 60 by 40. So some of the last two, I've been doing more from the side. Like, I don't know, it just makes more sense to do it that way than from the top down.
Yeah.
Although this from the top down is 40, right?
Yeah, the axle on this one is kind of confusing because it's got this one little spot on the side. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so this is 10. And this 60 minus 50. 10. And then that comes to a point. Okay. 20. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what this measurement is. 10, 20. Okay, so that's just 10. Right? So if I go 10, and I take this one, 10. Can I just like, I can't scale that. I'm like, can I move this one up?
Yeah, you can move from a corner.
20. I might have to make some adjustments there, but then I
Oh,
can,
did that go up along the blue? How come you lost a face on that one? That's okay. Keep going.
maybe I need to add that extra. Yeah,
Maybe
okay, so
maybe
actually, if
needed
I,
a break point
yeah,
first before you did that.
to here, and then I can move that up.
Yeah, because it doesn't know. Otherwise, it doesn't know where to stop.
And this, I have to add
It
another.
needs the same thing.
Yeah, here. Or no, all the way down.
Oh my gosh, now I created a monster. Everyone's chatting about old school technology, including hacks they would use to try and get payphones, tricks that you could try to get it to. Man, I remember some of those too. I'm not going to share them because some of them may not be legal.
We do not
Um,
fully endorse any
nope,
illegal
nope,
activities. Although,
nope,
if you
nope.
can find a payphone to whatever you want to do with it,
Yeah,
I'm
let me
like, you
know
should
if
be
you
able
find
to.
it.
Payphones just
If you
should be
find a working
free.
payphone.
There should be like, municipal just covering a payphone for people who don't have cell phones. You know what I mean? Okay.
All right,
50
focus.
by 30. Doing this one top down. And then let's see, should I do that little corner first. 2020. Right, so this is that triangle portion.
Oh, that's interesting. Looks like the letter H.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let that fool you. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. So they're not, are they getting more complex or not? They seem to be about the same level with some being slightly more and some being slightly less. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. I don't think they're not necessarily in any order, I don't
They're not like trying, they're not purposely trying to get like trickier for you. Like as if, oh, well, if you've done 10, then let's make it a little harder when you get to the next set. They're kind of all like in that um sort of equally challenging level.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I hear a noise and my cat is in the other room by itself. I'm worried. I need to check real quick. Hang on.
Sure, no problem. All right, is he gone? Just me and you, chat. Now we can really get down to the payphone mischief with Eric gone. Okay, let's see. So I'm trying to figure out 30 to the top of that from this. That means 30, right? And this one is
Okay, I'm back.
already.
He was in the
Welcome.
medicine cabinet and knocking out pill bottles. So, oh my gosh, cats.
Yeah, well, good. That's a good thing you got in there before they got into too many pill bottles.
I know. Have you ever seen a cat hopped up on vitamin D, D3? You
It's
don't
like
want him.
catnip for them, man.
No, we were joking that he's like half raccoon, half like possum, half squirrel. Like this morning he opened up, oh my gosh, he got into a bag of tortillas. He ate through the plastic and then started eating corn tortillas. It's like, who cats aren't supposed to do that. It's what raccoons do. I got one of those lemon cats. You know what I mean? I can't take it
Mm.
back. Sorry. Anyway, don't let me distract you.
No, you're good. What's a lemon cat?
Like a car, like a lemon. It's
Okay,
like,
right.
yeah, you got like a bum one. It would be funny if he was yellow. No, I thought lemon. He's actually a lemon cat. He smells like citrus. So Keggy, going back to our previous conversation, says he has two payphones near him, but unfortunately that are not working. So
Oh,
they turn them into little mini free libraries. That's cool.
oh, nice. Okay, so there.
And Keggy also has a cat. Oh, he deleted his comment. He said something disparaging about his cat, which I get it, Keggy. I'm with you.
Okay, so
This
that's
is interesting.
radius.
So this almost looks like the SketchUp logo. Do you know what I mean? If you turn it a certain way, it, like all of a sudden you see
Oh, yeah.
words 3D. Yeah, because it's got that kind of curve, but it's also done in 3D.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that.
Ahmad says it's probably easier to start from the side.
Okay, yeah, like this.
Yeah, just because you've got that radius on the bottom, because otherwise you're going to have to fix both of those. You can pull that out, and then you get the top as well.
Well, could I do a 2 point arc here? Do my little
Yeah,
radius trick, right? Push this. And then,
you can offset that, or do the arc again if you know what the measurements are.
what's going on here?
Oh, Dave's got to pop off. Thanks for joining us, Dave. Thanks for your tips
Yeah.
and inspiration as always. We'll see you around. See you next time.
Thanks, Dave.
For those of you that don't know Dave R., it means you've never visited our forum.
He's prolific on there.
If you go on the forum, you will probably meet him within a few minutes because Dave's probably one of our, what we call sages. We were asking the question in the beginning of the chat for people who haven't, or the beginning of the stream for people who haven't, who joined us late. We asked, where does the SketchUp terminology as far as your skill set, like where Maestro might be, whether that's above Ninja or below. A lot of these are made up, so it doesn't really matter. Could be anywhere. But Dave was one where we said, well, what is a Dave? And we give the term sage. So a sage is a term on the forum when somebody commits their own volunteer time and expertise to support users. And they show up and they help out. And then they eventually get sort of promoted to sage. And it's a pretty cool thing. There's some benefits. I won't go into all of them here, but there's some perks and benefits to be a sage. I mean, when you give to the community or you give to SketchUp, we want to make sure that we recognize that. As a SketchUp staff member, you can't also be a sage, though. So I say that with a little bit of jealousy because our community forum is called a community forum because it's sort of mostly questions and answers by and for community members. So we'll chime in, of course, as staff people because we're interested in what's going on and there's some things where we need to help out. But for the most part, it's our community users who will help support people when they're stuck or when they have a workflow question. So that's forum.sketchup.com. Is that the URL? Let me make sure I give you the right one.
Maybe?
Forums, yeah, let me give you the wrong one. Forums.sketchup.com. You go there, you'll get your answers. You'll get answers to your questions.
Yeah, that's the place to go. Okay, so this comes out to the middle of the circle, which is here, right? And then radius 10. Same. I'm using this trick a lot. This I found it on an old SketchUp video that Aaron made about custom arc lengths.
Yeah, that's smart. I need to start doing that. There is an extension if you do 1001-bit tools. There is a fillet extension, and no, that's not cutting fish. That is how you create a radius curve along two lines. But you know, I mean, I love that we're doing this native tools.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Yeah, what I think is really cool about the what I have been showing is that it works on different angles too. Like I could do it on an acute angle. So I could say,
yeah, and then you don't even really, it doesn't even really matter if it's tangent or not, right? You're just, as long as the arc's there, it'll figure out.
Well, I think it does have to be tangent, like the magenta tangent.
Oh, okay. So that's good to know.
And
otherwise,
that
I might
way
be
I
doing it
could
wrong.
do radius 10. And then same kind of thing with an obtuse angle. I could say this. I want this to be.
That makes sense why it would want to be tangent. Otherwise, you're going to get, you know, it's not going to be a good, clean, smooth arc.
Yeah. This looks like Deathly Hollows. Right. Okay. Real quick. Speaking of tangent.
Oh, you got to move on. Yeah, yeah, you got to move. Oh, are you? Wait, you haven't moved on to the next one.
Sorry, I'm just okay. That's Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter. Okay. This is gonna take forever if I keep doing stuff like that. Okay.
I know we're here to watch you. We're here to see all 50, Matt. We're not here to talk or side quests. Some people, these live streams are funny because this is fun for us, but at the same time, it's educational. It's a blend. It's a little bit of everything. Like we could do this as a webinar where it's very, very rehearsed. It's very structured and we go step by step. But, you know, there's a lot of people that do that and it's not as much engaging. Like here, we get the comments come in and we get to have that conversation with the people that are in the chat right now. you and I get to little push back on each other a little bit and have some fun. But at the same time, we're also making sure that we're not taking away from the fact that you are teaching as you go by telling us your steps. And so it's a bit of a blend, and doesn't always work for everyone, but just stay with us, trust us.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of carve out this shape from this cube. These guides are for this top little section. So I believe it goes, okay, and then this actually would go 20. So I'm looking for these intersection points here, 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 and here. Now, do that, and then push. So that's that top level here. And then that goes down 10. No, down 10. And, okay. That's another. Okay, so this little step, what I'm trying to get here is that's 10. So I think I could just go 10, right? And it's 10 on this side too. Is that cheating or no? And then this would go down another 10 because 30 minus 20.
I don't know if you're asking me, but no, go for it.
You're like, I haven't been watching the screen in an hour.
No, I've been watching. I've been watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched the first couple. Isn't it? They're all the same, right?
Yeah, just doing different ways, the same thing over different ways.
PS says, I'm still watching. I'm enjoying every task. It looks easy, but I need more practice. Keep going. So there you go, right?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely need more practice too. Okay, so I'm using this 45-degree angle. That's what I use the protractor tool for to get this line. And then it's 20 units up from that bottom. So that's why I did this guide. And so I can go from this corner, guide, corner, delete, and push this down. 40 minus 30, which is 10. That's it. Just take Lipozene. That's it. I have that's another commercial, like old Comedy Central commercials that were on like late at night are stuck in my head. Practice 19.
Yeah, isn't it funny the stuff that gets stuck? There's so many things I want to store in my brain right now, and that it just doesn't seem to want to stick. And then I can still pull up like cartoon commercials from when it was like 8, like Saturday morning jingles. But then again, they do design those to be sticky,
True. Okie dokie. Okay, 40. Okay, so I'm looking at the kind of the top-down view again here. 40, and then it is radius 20. So we'll say that is just a 40 by 40 with essentially a circle right in the middle of it. And actually, we'll add that radius right now. So regular arc tool, not the 2-point, just for this curved section, because I want to inference the center of this. And I don't even have to type an exact, because it's just a 90-degree. And then the circle comes off from that same thing, and that is diameter 20. So when I inference that same center point here and say 10, then now I can push this up 20, this number here to get that. And then this is a little 10 block over in the corner. So I'll just do rectangle 10, 10, 10.
It's my birthday, October 10th.
10, 10, 2010. You're younger than I thought.
I won't say the year, now that I'm old enough, you got to act like it's a big deal. When you're younger, you're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
Makes it easy to remember 10-10 because I'd forget my birthday otherwise. Five, is it 5/12? I don't know. Is it 3/0/01?
Okay, so 45. I'm like, what's the easiest way to make this little corner shape here?
Yeah, you start at the bottom and then just notch it. So just go draw the
Could I draw the
like in plan view.
profile? Could I draw this and then just
Yeah,
push
because
it?
look, you can see where it touches. It touches the center point of each of those arcs. So you don't even need the dimensions, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And
Just
this
grab the
is
center
10
point.
across, 10 across, and it's 10 high, and then another 10.
If it's all tens, then just go for it. Yeah. Just
Yeah. So I could
start
go
push
this way.
pulling. Up 10, grab one, over 10, go up another 10. See, is this helpful if I tell you how to do it? Take that one, move that 10, then that one. That's got to go over
It's hard
10.
to know. It's hard to know with which one you're talking about, but
It reminds me of is it Jimmy Fallon on Saturday Night Live? He's the IT guy. He tries to look over his shoulder, and he's always like, "Okay, you need to go into okay, go in, hit Control Alt, and then open up your control panel." And then finally, he gets frustrated. And they're like,
mhm.
"Where's the control panel?" And he just goes, "Move," and he just tells them to move out of the way. You can't tell people like what to do over their shoulder. It's just doesn't work. Just move.
Yeah. I should be moving. I should be having you sitting in my chair.
No, no, you're doing fine. I was just, it's a joke. You're right. I can't tell you. Like, I can't say, oh yeah, that one right there doesn't help.
This is just the same. Two tangent piece of that. And then, oh, actually, now I have this. But, okay. And then, let's see. Could I use autofold for that other piece? This is like this. No. No matter. Not good, right? This. Cross. Yeah. All right, shape. You've been had.
I won't say bam. I'll just say good job. I just opened my door to my office and both the dog and the cat are sitting there like looking in and I'm just like, is this the movie The Birds? I'm feeling really anxious here, you guys. Speaking of devil cats, Keggy's saying that his cat is just staring at him. It's like, yeah, what is it? It's an energy thing. They must know. They smell weakness and they're like, all right, I'm going in for the kill. Now, do you have a dog? Don't you have a dog?
No, I don't have any pets.
You
I'm
don't have any
allergic. It's
pets.
always in
Okay,
the
you don't
way.
have. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that. Yeah, well,
It's all right.
I
I
know.
understand pets. I'm not anti-pet or anything like that. 40 by 70.
You could get a fish, right? If you really wanted to. It'd be a safe one.
It could.
You could. That was your way of saying, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, it probably would be the most agreeable, I suppose, pet. Um, but yeah, we're not doing that. Sorry, fish lovers. I do
Yeah,
like a fish
bird.
tank, but I don't know
Yeah.
if I'd want to like take care of it and everything.
I was more interested in the enclosures than the animals. I always wanted to build a really cool terrarium and just have nothing in it. And then people come over and be like, oh, wow, what's in there?
Hmm.
It's got like fog, and like cool roots. And it's like half underwater, but half like rainforest. Like I always look at the enclosures and think, oh, this is so cool. This would be, man, if I was a poison dart frog, I'd be happy to live here.
Does that go to?
Oh, you were reminded to save. I didn't relay that to you. So
Very good. Thank you.
my bad. I was trying to do that in between when you finished that last one.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, users. Thanks, community.
No, it's not 30. Is it 30? Doesn't look right. So I'm trying to figure out where this comes down to. 10. Oh, this is a radius of 10. So it's just down 20 from the top.
Yeah, like I was saying, it helps if they use the same numbers rather than like, oh, this is 8 and this is 7 and this is 4. That would just like slow the process down a lot more. Like that's a module 10. Great. Then that way you don't have to look. You just know, okay, that's a 10, that's a 10, that's a 10.
And then this goes across to here. And then this is just straight up like this. And delete. And then this is down 10. Invalid 1 dash O. It's incorrect. Okay. So I think this like how far does this come across? It doesn't say, does it? Oh, because these are both 10. So it's 20. Right? 10, 10. So this would go across 20. And then, wait, is that right? I'm going crazy here. Oh, whoops, crap. Because this is supposed to be 30 and it's 20. Actually, that's not so bad. Here, let me just get rid of these guides. I can just move this up, right? Move it up 10. And then this actually also goes up 10. This is why I like sticky geometry, because it's like I made a mistake, but then everything just sticks together when I move it. And it's like, nice.
Yeah, it's a good example of when it works for you instead of against you.
This goes up to here.
Yeah, you know.
And then this goes across. And then this is 40 deep. Actually, let's weld that first. 40. And let's see. I'm going to this, yeah. Radius 20. So does that mean if I could do an arc 20 back and then use my handy dandy regular arc tool? And then push this down. Delete these extra bits. And that. Kind of looks like Texas. Your thoughts?
It kind of looks like a toilet. Sorry, I don't know. That's where my brain went.
Shots fired to the Texans in the audience.
Yeah, well, I wasn't making a connection between the two, but you can draw whatever conclusions you want. No, there's some good people in Texas. So I won't say that. I won't say. I'm just kidding. I actually have to. I almost moved to Texas. I interviewed for a job in Austin, and then they had an office in Dallas, and they said, actually, our Dallas office is bigger, and I think you'd fitted better there. Why don't you go interview there? So I got I got to visit both Austin and Dallas. That was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Texas is
Yeah,
cool.
probably
Um,
right now for me, to be honest. Like, it's I don't know how hot it is. Right, I'm gonna look that up. All right, you keep going. Don't listen to me.
yeah, no, I want to hear the weather report. Let me know breaking news when the weather report's ready. Okay, this one has some shapes going on. I'm like running out of steam. I could
101 in Dallas. So yeah, no thanks.
101. Okay. Okay, so
All right, you're doing. Come on, Matt. You can do this. We're 20 minutes to go, and if we need to bleed a little bit, we can.
no,
You stop when you
we don't
feel
need to bleed. I'm
comfortable.
not gonna bleed 2 hours. Like, more than I'm not even halfway done. If you like the stream, maybe we can come back and finish these up, or you can finish them on your own time. Like I said, all the plans are in the forum thread. But yeah, leave us a thumbs up if you like this and if you like this type of stream. But yeah, we're not gonna get through 50 today.
Oh, don't say that you just come on. Let's just keep going.
I should say today is my last day of work before a week-long vacation, so maybe that's why I also don't want to
You're like starting to
overstay my
wind down a
welcome.
little bit. Yeah, you want to.
Okay,
It's looking good though, and when you see the little pile there in the corner, I mean, it's pretty impressive.
yeah,
I mean,
we got some
50
under
is a
our
lot.
belt.
That's a lot to try and do.
Nifty 50 is quite a few. Okay, so I'm thinking just of this shape now. Um, the idea is that I'm gonna go 50 high, and then it's 20. So my question is, it doesn't say what this rounding is. You just have to kind of assume, right? Or are some of these
Which
lines
one
inferring?
are you talking about? That center one? It give doesn't it give the radius on the plan view?
um the plan view?
Yeah, that's the plan view.
But I mean, this radius, it doesn't show on the
It,
plan view. I'm talking about this one.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, what do you think it should be? What are the other
I
ones?
think, I mean, everything's 10.
All right, there you go.
But I'm like, I'm trying to figure out like why it doesn't show it. But maybe these center points like infer, okay, this arc is going to start at the top of this, which is, diameter of 20, so 10 radius, so it's 10 up. So, or I can just assume that everything's 10, so it's just 10. So shut up, Matt. Just get to it.
Listen, like I said, if you just went ahead and picked a number, no one would know any better. But I do appreciate that you're a stickler for accuracy.
Yeah, trying to do my part. So yeah, I guess same kind of thing with my. I like this way. Like it works for my brain to do just add it in arbitrarily and then type in the number. But I guess you could also, if you wanted to shave this off, you could infer the top of this circle and the side of this circle and do an arc tool, right? Although for some reason, yeah, this has been being weird. Infer this, and then say, I want to start from here, and then I want to go to here to here. Yeah, same deal. This. That's a nice thing too about using guides and not breaking geometry is because this circle is not centered on this. And if I want to flip this equally to the bottom, I need to flip it referencing something that's halfway down. This guide is not, so if I flipped it, it's wrong. Like if that was an edge that I used, if I drew an edge to infer, this midpoint wouldn't be here because that edge would be cut and they would have two different midpoints. I'm pointing at my screen like you guys can see me. This edge would be cut.
We're with you.
So then each of these would have its own midpoint, and I wouldn't be able to infer a midpoint because before this midpoint of this is not. Anyways, you know what I'm saying, guys. Come on.
Hey man, I know what you're. I get what you're. Is that the phrase?
Picking up what you're putting down. Is that what
Picking up what
you're?
you're putting down. That's kind of what I was saying. Sorry, I hit mute when I was in the middle of talking. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I can hang. I can hang with kids these days.
I'm hanging.
Um,
I'm brat.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Yeah, you're not a brat. You're brat.
that's exactly what I consider myself for sure. Okay, so let's
Is that an
see.
adjective? That's not a noun then, right? Because that's what you are. Wait, I don't know. Never mind. I'm confusing myself.
It's some type of word,
Yeah,
English
it has
word most likely.
letters. Yes. Hi everyone. If you're just joining us, we are.
We are brat without question. Okay, 20 goes to the top of this. So can I just say 20, right? This across. And then knowing that's 10, this is 50, that means it's also 20 up from the bottom. Pushing this to here, which was the 40 that this gave me. But, my friends, this is also different. So this does get cut here, right, on both sides, and comes out. This is 40, right? Um, 10.
One looks like a duck.
Quack, quack. Mighty Ducks.
I drew the duck blue because I've never seen a blue duck before.
Is
It's great.
that right before he graduates to the next?
Yeah, yeah. I was graduating kindergarten, I think.
Yeah. Diameter 20. So I'm going to go circle. Okay, so I'll use my handy dandy arc tool again. Inference the center of this. Right here. And then nope, down.
Oh, you
Same.
know what we need to do with these afterwards is take all 50 or however far you get, 35, and go into layout and then like practice just doing dims. Might not be the most interesting stream, but it would be good practice.
I'll leave
Maybe I
that
do
one
that
up
on
to
my
you for next time.
maybe I do that one on my own and not in front of a live audience and be like, okay, here we go. We're gonna dim. Now we're gonna dim from here to here. Now we're gonna do radius, center point. Now we need a leader. It is good practice though.
Mm-hmm.
There is an art to construction drawings that we don't really talk enough about. You know, like your line hierarchy and your hatch patterning and you know how you get all this information to sort of fit on a page, you know, and still be logical and coherent.
Yeah, we did actually just have a comment recently about construction drawings and how to like make details on them. Which could be a fun video for you to make and not me. Just because I don't know how to do it,
Yeah,
but I want to see
it
it.
really it's hard because you can't really do it with like a makeup. You can't really make stuff up as much. You know, you really do need a project at that sort of complex level where you really do take it seriously and say, okay, this is who I'm communicating to, and this is what I need to communicate. And I think that's when you start getting into that nuance more than if you're just like, oh, this looks cool. Like I did one in layout, and I was just playing around because I really just wanted to kind of instead of going to Illustrator or Photoshop or something, I was like, oh, I want to like do something really cool with my SketchUp model, and but it really wasn't. You know what I mean? It was a little bit too. It was a little more colorful and a little more flashy, and it wasn't really the point wasn't like, okay, where's the footing and do I have all the dimensions right? So it was sort of a conceptually sort of a step a little higher than that,
Yeah.
which is cool on its own, but a little bit different process.
Why does this not wanna? Go away.
You have you Z fighting on that one, so you've got a double plane for some reason. They're not
But shouldn't it be
inert.
merged?
Should be. If you take that out, yeah, you're gonna lose your face. What happens if you try and close that, if you heal it? Because if it's not flush, then it's not gonna heal. There it is.
Everything's flush, man. It's all tens.
All right, I know. Yeah,
Tens all the
well,
way down.
okay. Well, it just didn't like the order that it was drawn in then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. Sometimes
So,
I don't like the order that I draw in either, so.
yeah. It's also like sometimes the computer knows it's Friday and it's like, yeah, this is when I'm gonna start acting up. So I really just want to be done for the weekend. That's what I
I
think.
cannot
Like when
relate.
things,
I cannot relate.
yeah, when things stop working, it's like, I blame Friday afternoon.
Okay.
Beautiful.
If my calculations are correct, this baby hits group stage, it's going to be a solid. Oh,
Oh man.
I
Now I just need to make the,
destroyed.
the head yellow and the projection part orange. So if you could separate those two out for me, then I'll be happy. All right, or just leave them black and white like the rest of them. Move on to the next.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe I can get 25. I'll do 25. I go halfway. Uh, does that does that work for you? Or no?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
I
do you
mean, you
just
tell
want
me.
to
You got nine
cut it off
minutes.
hard
Wait,
at
how many do you have? How many are you at?
um
You're at 22?
22?
All right, let's do three more. Let's call it. Perfect. Hey, 25, dude, that's
Let's get some easy ones. Yeah, when I did the math, I was like, okay, it's like 2.5 minutes per one. But I've not taken 2.5 minutes for each one, but some of these are definitely
you're not
taking me
including
longer than
banter
that.
time.
Oh, it's definitely all the banter and not just me slowly trying to think through these problems.
Well, you got to think about like a comedian. You can say, okay, here's my script, right? But then now all of a sudden there's things like reading the audience. You have pauses for people to laugh. It's like you draw something out to create suspense. I mean, that doesn't show up in a script. It just says if you just flat read it, it would take you this long.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
AI, man, it's where we still have the advantage. We got maybe a few more months where we still have the advantage over the machines, where we can read those subtle cues and we can kind of um, use that to our advantage, to our edge.
oh yeah.
Ahmed says, next time you need to do the mat. What is the mat? Is that like a dance move? Ahmed, you'll have to clarify what doing the mat is. I hope that's not pulling who was the one where they're like, oh, it was from Friends when you pull a Monica, and she's like, you told our therapist you wouldn't use that phrase anymore to her dad because they pulling a Monica.
Okay. And what is
Yeah.
pulling a Monica? Just like doing
It's
something
just like doing
wrong.
something, yeah, doing like screwing up. And
Yeah.
then but I'm hoping that doing a mat is high praise. Come
Yeah.
on, Ahmed.
Okay. I think this is that. All right. Push this down. And then like this. This one's kind of cool because it has this fun side view and then the fun top view. Kind of reminds me of the old SketchUp
Uh,
logo too.
yeah, like sort of a stair set kind of thing.
Here we go.
No, we can't use red. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah.
And
Memories. Is
groupie.
that one done?
Yep, that's 23. I hope you guys learned something today. I know we have a couple left, but you know, I definitely feel like for me this has been helpful because of like, getting the muscle memory going. And I hope you I mean, these are pretty simple shapes, so I'm sure if you're an expert, this isn't the most like enthralling, thing, but it's definitely been not challenging for me, but it's just one of those things of like, repetition gets you thinking in a certain way, gets your those neural pathways, working. So
Yeah, I think you said this is getting our beach bod, right? I mean, this is summer. We are flexing. We are just doing those reps. We're getting our reps in, and you're doing exactly as advertised. I don't think you were out of shape though, to be honest, because you said, have your 3D skills gotten out of shape? But then again, you're asking the audience to answer that question themselves. I don't think you're out of shape.
you don't think I am?
No,
Hmm.
no.
I kind of feel it, but I'm glad you think so. Think, oh, 30. Oh, and then that's 40. Okay, so I need actually one more.
Kegi says, this has been a great session. It's made me think about how I model, which is always a good thing. Yeah, it's often we don't really reflect as much on our process. You know, we talk about, you know, efficiencies, yes, but we also talk about more like what's the end product. And sometimes we just kind of go through the motions. I think this is kind of an opportunity to pause for a moment. Oh, you got to break that. Remember oh, it looks like it healed itself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
black
when
heal
you were
thyself.
yeah, when you were pulling that, I was seeing that face break because you didn't have that divider line, but looks okay.
Right. Yeah. This is what you're talking about, right? I'm
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pointing to
yeah.
my screen again.
Yeah,
You
no,
guys know what
no,
I'm talking about. You know.
yeah, I see, I get it.
24. This is starting to sound like an exercise video. 24. One more. You can do it. 3 minutes. Push yourself.
Come on, Matt.
That could be a motivator. Oh no. Just
You
kidding. I
got
got this.
this. Yeah, you got this. 25.
Okay, so 70. I'm like, which way? Maybe I'll just do that entire back part first and then add this little piece on.
Yeah, you can always draw it like in plan view, but really in elevation, and then just rotate it all 90 degrees. I mean, you can do it however you want.
Yeah. You dang right I can.
Yeah, this is your stream.
Okay, so
Getting a lot of comments. Matt, they're saying Johnny Five says you're doing an excellent job. You're getting high marks. Ty's jumped in. You can do it. Come on, everyone. Let's give Matt some encouragement. He's got one more to do, and we got 3 minutes to do it, and he can do it. I'm going to stop talking. Come on, let's go. Well, actually, I'm not. I'll stop distracting. I will encourage you.
well, that's very nice of you. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. You got to tune me out. Go, Matt. Come on, Matt.
30. This is out 10.
No pressure, Matt.
Hey, I don't think I'm gonna be done in 2 minutes, but I will be done. Um, I don't know. I will do something. Okay. So I'm looking at this here. So that initial face that I made was just this piece here. That's what I have. So 10 up. I'm gonna do 10 up, and then
Center point on that is your
this is a
arc. Yeah.
radius. I'm gonna go handy dandy, dude. I've been I'm have been a very staunch 2 point arc. Why is there even an arc tool person? And after this stream, I'm like, oh, I love the regular arc. Like I could use this all the time. Um, so I am an arc tool believer. If anything else came out of this stream, that is it for sure for me. This 10, and then that is 10 by 20, right? No, 40, sorry. $40, and it goes.
It's got to be the same.
Right? I mean, again, I'm
Uh,
like, okay, so that
yeah.
is 40. It tells you right here. It's 40.
Okay. Yeah. There it is.
40. And then going back to the well. When in doubt, go to your Number one customer. Regular arc tool for life.
There you go. I know. They're saying you're the fastest arc in the West. And that's right. Any other arc puns? You got them? Keep them coming.
Ark of the Covenant.
That's right. This is
Belongs in a
modelers of the
museum.
Lost Ark. Yeah, I know.
Okay, diameter 20. So I'm going to circle center of that arc. Should be able to inference that, right? Yeah. And that's 10.
Randy says, keep calm and paste in place. That's a good one. I don't think we're doing as much copying and pasting on this one, but definitely move modifier, you know. Matt, you can push pull with the best of them.
Okay.
Wait, is that it?
25.
Did it?
Yeah,
In time. That was before the 1 minute came in. That came after you pushed it.
Boy,
Whew,
okay. I honestly
close.
I thought it was gonna be I thought it was gonna be a squeeze to get 50 done. I did not know that I was only gonna get half of these done. I thought, oh, they're intermediate. Like these shapes look simple, you know. But
I don't know. There's a lot of moves. I mean, look at that
definitely,
last one. There's a lot of, I mean, that's arc, and then that's copy, it's extrude, that's offset, that's autofold. I mean, just for one of these.
yeah, it definitely took me longer. I'll arrange these later. It took me longer than I was expecting. Let's go to the full screen mode. Thank you so much for watching, for sticking around. For you can see the kind of side of my desktop here. Oh, there's where we just were. Anyways, I'm getting distracted.
There.
Thanks for sticking around, spending your Friday afternoon or evening with us. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to see the remaining 25 of these modeled live, let us know. Maybe we can get somebody else on the case. Maybe Eric can come on and do these in 10 minutes or something.
No, definitely not.
But it's been fun. I definitely learned a lot. I got newfound respect of the arc tool, not the 2-point arc. Don't call it the 2-point arc. The true arc tool. And certainly naming groups and figuring out drawings, even if they're not very complex. And thank you to everybody in the chat also who helped, and Eric for your help today. One last thing we want to definitely talk about before we let you go for the weekend is that 3D Basecamp is the SketchUp user conference. There's a lot of SketchUp training. I'll probably be at a lot of the classes so I can get my skills brushed up on. But it's the #1 event to learn SketchUp at, and there's going to be all kinds of SketchUp experts teaching, sharing their workflows, and it's just a great community. So come and meet your people and network if that's your bag. There's going to be a fun party. It's in Las Vegas, the second week in November. 3dbasecamp.sketchup.com is the place to go for all the details on that. Eric's going to be there. He's presenting, isn't that right?
That's right. You can come take a class, and then if you want, I'll be in the Knowledge Hub. That's where we just hang out and ask questions. It's kind of like a forum in real life. And if you want to do some of these little exercises together, we can do that. Also, a little shout out on Basecamp for those that have registered. We will be opening up our registration process so that you can get in there. Little pro tip: get in there quick, get the sessions you want, book them. Right, some of these fill up, and that'll be coming next week. And so just keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, totally. Get your schedule locked in and reserve your spot in all of the sessions that you definitely want to go to. That'll be exciting when that comes out. Totally.
A lot of props, Matt, just from the stream, from the comments. You can go back and read them later, of course, but everyone's saying, they said, you know what? You got an A+ on, you're not graded on percent complete, you're graded on quality, and you got an A+ for sure on this one. So fun and educating stream. So looks like everybody learned something. That is the goal. Have a little bit of fun. Learn at least something.
Yeah, get one or two,
one or
two little nuggets in there. That's worth it in my book. But no, thanks. Hey, if I didn't model these all as solids, I could have got 50 easy. That's why I wanted to make sure they're solids and make sure it's clean and everything like that. So that's why I didn't get through all of them. But yeah, no. Thanks everybody for sticking around, and heck, I say, have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. And we don't know who's up next week. People are traveling. We do have we're kind of mixing things up. That's why I'm behind the camera today. And that's great though. Great to have Matt in front and in the hot seat, as they say. So thanks, Matt, for taking this one, and great job.
Yeah, thank you, Eric, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, let's spin some records.
Take it easy.
Go for it.